All right, find the slope of each line from the graph. If you recall in class, we're dealing with what we would say is the change in y, written as delta, the Greek letter delta, meaning change in. That's a mathematical or scientific notation, not scientific notation in the sense that you might know about numbers, but it is a notation that they use in science to indicate change change in y, change in y over change in x, which is otherwise known as rise over run. So what does that mean? Well, that means as the rise, meaning how far you go up or down between one point and another, that will be your change in your y. So let's take a look over here. I'm going to change my color so that you can get a little differentiation. If we're going to go from this point to this point, and that's what we're going to do for this one, then how much do we rise by? Well, let's see. We change this by 1, 2, 3, 4 units in the y direction. But notice that actually from this first point, this point right here, to down here, we're dropping. Okay, so when we drop instead of rise, the rise that we're going to call it is actually a negative number. Okay, so for this one, we're going to say -4 over, and then how much do we run by? Well, we're running here by 2. You can see that we dropped by 4. Now we're running by 2. So once we have that rise and that run, -4 over 2, what we want to do is we want to simplify it. And you see that that simplifies to -2 over 1. And with slopes, we typically, when we have a 1 on the bottom, we call that a slope of -2. But we still want to think of it as -2 over 1 in case we had to graph it and we wanted to be able to have a numerator and a denominator, a rise and a run. Okay, so we've got -2 or -2 over 1 as our slope for number 11. Now, what's going on for number 13? Well, I'm going to draw our these same blue lines that I did here that vertically go straight up and down and horizontally go left and right to be able to calculate. So I'm going to draw that. And then you can see that from this point here, we rise 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units up, and we run 1 unit. So we've got a rise and a run of 4 over 1. And as I said, we typically will write that as a whole number. So we can call this a slope of 4. You should be able to know it as being 4 over 1 in case you needed a rise and a run. And then let's look at the last one. Let me put the blue lines for this one. And you can see here that we rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. So we would say 6 over 8 simplifies to 3 over 4. And we have a slope for this one, number 15, of 3/4. That's all there is to it when you're doing this from a graph. Just know to a couple of things. You want to simplify fractions when possible, like here and here. And whenever you have over 1 on the bottom, you're just going to call it that whole number. So -2 over 1 would be a slope of -2. 4 over 1 would be a slope of 4. Yep, that's all there's to it.